Well, I want to say happy Thursday, right? We're a
Yeah.
little bit late doing our monthly session. Coach Kai, welcome. Thank you very much for joining. How you been?
Ah, I've been amazing. I've been amazing. It's been quite difficult the past week, but here I am.
Excellent.
So happy to be here.
Yeah, and thank you so much for coming on. I know we wanted to talk. We've got a particular topic that that we want to talk about. I think it's relevant given what everybody's going through right now. But before we get into that, can you? I know you've been very active recently on Instagram, posting updates. Maybe before we kind of get into that, if you'd like to share with everybody what you've been sharing on Instagram and kind of where you are, your own brand and the coaching world, then that would be great if that's okay.
Yeah, sure, Paul. So, people actually know me as the Spartan coach, SGX Spartan coach in the Philippines. But since the pandemic, I shifted into a more holistic approach to health. So I created a new framework. Then I created a whole new program around it. So this is about this superfecta of your movement, nutrition, recovery and rest, and mindset. So all of this, I've been talking about this all the time in my platform. So this month I'm doing nutrition. So I've been talking about nutrition. I have this series about all the things that you need to know about food, and if you need to count calories, or if you want to lose weight, and all the things. And it's been amazing. Yeah, that's what's been going on.
Excellent. And I've been very impressed with your Instagram posts. They're very colourful now, particularly from a food perspective. So well done, well done. So I know we want to talk on kind of a topic right now that may be a little bit tough for people to hear, but given the situation, I think it's only right that we do talk about it. So, Coach, why don't you take us away? What are we going to talk about today?
Yeah, so we're going to talk about mental health and how to deal when we're feeling negative emotions, negative energies during this time. And the past 2 years since 2020, this pandemic, I have been very optimistic with everything, but I think it's taking a toll on my mental health as well. And a lot of people has experienced this. In 2020, I actually hit a rock bottom, and then I went to a therapist and did all the things. And I just want to open that conversation that it's really okay to ask for help, to like really acknowledge that we are going through something, and we're not weak if we experience this, because this is normal. So last week, actually, I had some anxiety attacks, and I didn't know actually where it came from. I just felt that in my body, and I was
Okay.
experiencing period pain. So I couldn't work out, so I couldn't eat properly, and then I'm experiencing pain. And on Saturday, I was actually rushed to the ER because the pain is so severe, and I had a panic attack. Like I had this stuff, the dextrose and all these things, and I have my mask on and my face shield on, and I'm just like, oh, I couldn't breathe, and all that feels, and like this warm sensation in my body that I really couldn't understand. And yeah, I was having an anxiety attack, and I wanted to remove everything. I was just so lucky that my fiance was
Wow.
with to hold my hands. I was like, okay, you got this. Okay, so it's really, really important during this day that we are all isolated, but I don't know. It really is important to connect with the people that we love and the people that we care about, and just be there for each other, because no one's going to hold us except ourselves and the people who love us. So as I said, I think I really want to encourage people to do, like, check in on each other, and that's the social part. But uh, for me, when I experienced that, one thing that helped me the morning after was when I started to move. So you see, these emotions are stored in our body as energies,
Hmm.
and they're just stuck there, so it's not flowing. So if we're following the Oriental chi, right? So we have this
Okay.
energy right? So in acupuncture, they use that. We have meridian points in our body where energies are stored or stuck or whatever and causing us diseases. That's the same. It's that's the same when we feel anxiety or sadness or depression or all these negative emotions. So it helped for me to move. So I did yoga in the morning, and then in the evening, in the early evening, I did a run. I ran, and then I started to feel better. I started to eat um, properly as well. I nourished my body. I slept well. So these are my first line of defense. If I'm
Okay.
feeling sad, I couldn't just wallow. And there are actually studies that correlates movement and good proper nutrition and 6 to 8 hours of good quality sleep for lesser depression symptoms. Like so it's there, it's science. So okay, we're sad, okay, we're depressed, okay, we're anxious, but there's something really that we can do about it. Like for starters, start moving your body, start moving that energy around. And that may seem very counterproductive because trust me, I know what it feels like when you're like depressed. Like I don't want to move. No, I don't have energy, don't want to move, I don't want to move, I just want to lie here and cry. I know that, but that's counterproductive. You're not going to move that energy. It's just going to be there in your body. So even inside my program, I talk about movement as a form of medicine for us
Okay.
to deal with not just strengthening our body, but also to deal with these emotions, these energies that are stuck inside our body. So yeah, that's what's up.
I think that's great. I think from, being able to, I don't know if transfer is the right word, but to maybe alter your state of mind at the time really helps, right? But I think really the more salient point there was how important it is to be able to speak to somebody. Now, I know that there's people out there that can't necessarily speak to their family members, which is fine, right? Not everybody lives in a perfect world. Not everybody lives in a perfect family. I get it. So just having that one person, in your case, it was your fiance. So kudos, right? That's great. That's great that you can have that conversation. But I guess to other people out there that may not necessarily live in that ideal scenario that we've spoken about, yes, they can move and they can, change kind of alter their mindset, so to speak, and alter their mood. But ultimately, it's being able to talk with somebody, right? And just to be able to share what they're feeling with at any given time. Would you agree? Is that kind of along the same lines?
Yeah, I totally agree, Paul. And I agree that we're not all blessed with supportive families or people around us. And sometimes some of us are really actually isolated alone in their own condo, right? So in their own
Yeah.
place or in their own house. And we can always find communities. There's so many communities in Facebook, on Instagram. Um, you can follow these people that doing the same things that you want to do. If you're into arts, follow people who are into arts and talk to them. If you're into Spartan races and OCR, follow these athletes and talk to them. And it's also about overcoming some fears. Like why would I talk to someone, right? Why would anybody listen to me anyway, right? So we all have that doubts and fears, and I'm telling you that it's okay to have those, and we will always find our people who will listen to us, right? So if it's a severe thing, severe condition, like for me, I have I'm clinically diagnosed for depression and I'm dealing with it. uh it's okay to seek professional help. Like I had professional help in 2011 when I was first diagnosed, and then again in 2015 and then 2019. So every time I'm about to seek help, I have this thought in my head that it's a step backward. Like I've done this before. Why am I not getting better? Why am I doing it again? Why do I need to do medicine again and things like that? And you know what? Because it helps. It helps to talk to people. It helps to take medicine if you need to. It helps to connect with people. And yeah, if we don't have family to support us, we can really ask for professional help. And if we can't do that yet, we can find communities online. So these are people that they don't know you, so you can open up to them. And there are studies that we can actually open up to people we don't know. Like we tend it's easier for us to open up. So like for me, for example, it was easier for me to open up to my therapist than to open up with my
Mhm.
mom, for example, right? So yeah.
Yeah, I think a couple of points you made there. It's okay not to be okay. Right now, it's okay. Well, actually, not just right now. In general, it's okay not to be okay. Right, and
Yeah.
it's also okay if you don't have that close family unit where you can't feel you can go to speak to them. I think again, your point there, and Kai, your bravery in terms of coming on and opening up is well, I can't speak highly enough of you. So, kudos sounds the wrong word, but I think what you're doing is extremely brave. So, well done. But the fact that you felt that you couldn't talk to your mum, but you had a different line to go through in terms of a therapist, I just think again it proves that it's not just one route, right? It's not one size fits all when people are struggling with their mental health, right? It can't just be exercising, it can't just be talking to somebody. It's a combination of all the above. Maybe it's what suits you at that any given time, right? And then your advice about communities, I think, is wonderful, right? In terms of going out there and looking for communities. There's a lot of help online. There's a lot of podcasts. There's even a lot of live streams out there right now that talk about, look,
Yeah.
if you're struggling with your mental health, come and talk to us. And I think it's wonderful that you can now openly say, look, I'm not okay, and I just need help, right? Going back even 5 or 6 years, that was frowned upon. It was kind of, you just got to get through it, right? Regardless of your gender. Actually, even being a male, it was probably harder for a male then to stand up and go, do you know what? I'm not all right here, right? It's just amazing to see, in a good way. It's amazing to see how things have changed and how people now are willing to talk about their mental health and if they are struggling, and even if they follow the nutrition plan, they do the exercise, and they talk to somebody, that there's still maybe something else that may be playing in their minds, right? And they just need to not deal with it. I don't mean that, but they need to find a way where they can express it themselves, so they just feel better with themselves, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. And the past 2 years during the pandemic, our awareness with all the mental health issues has really leveled up. And like we became more open, became more aware, and we've been more understanding. I think people have been more understanding of each other. And I think awareness is the first step to transformation. So even if you take that awareness within yourself first and just sit with your emotions and become aware of it, so you don't identify yourself with that emotion. Because what happened to me in the past and for most people is they identify themselves in their condition, in their emotions. Oh, I'm sad, I am depressed, I am bipolar, I am. And then whatever, this is very, very, very strong and powerful. Like whatever comes after I am, you embody it, right? So I am
Mm.
experiencing some symptoms. I'm feeling it, but I am not that. I'm not that identity. So when you're able to have that kind of intelligence, like emotional intelligence, to just sit there and just observe what's going on with you without putting too much energy on it. And okay, this is happening, okay, I'm observing it. Because we are not our thoughts, right? We are just observer of the thoughts and the feelings and the emotions. And it gives you the power to do something about it. Like, all right, okay, you're feeling this, then what do you need? Do you need to talk to someone? Do you need to move? Do you need to drink water? What do you need right now?
Uh,
Right? So it's not just
okay.
you identifying yourself. Oh, I'm bipolar. So when I feel this, I have a depressive episode right now. So I'm just gonna wallow because this is la 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 la. And you just take on that identity that that's who you are, and you're becoming a
Okay.
victim of it, and you became helpless. So this is learned helplessness. When you think you can't do anything about it, when you've identified yourself with the emotion. So if you are just observing it, and this is psychology. Like if you're just observing it, you feel more powerful because you know that you feel detached and disassociated with it because you know that you are just observing it. Because how can you be that thing if you are just the observer, right? And now if you put yourself in that position, now you're powerful. Now there's something you can do, right?
I love how you phrased it there when you went, and just to remind the audience what you said. So when you use the phrase "I am," whatever follows that is what you become. Is that right?
Yes.
That's super powerful, right? So I guess if you're saying I'm sad, like, or your example is I'm bipolar, then I understand it. I completely understand. It kind of just resonates with inside you. Whereas what your advice is look at the triggers why you may be feeling sad, and then look at ways that maybe you can handle that sadness in more of a productive way, or just, as we said before, just talking to somebody. Maybe just walking around for 5 minutes. It's amazing, isn't it, when you go out for a walk? I know,
Yeah, that's
unfortunately, we don't necessarily live in a place where we can go out for a walk right now. But hopefully those times are coming back. But just to go out, move away from your desk for 10 or 15 minutes really does have a huge amount of power in terms of changing your mindset, being able to deal with things, right?
yeah, definitely. So, um, for my students and actually for myself, when we're
Yeah.
feeling low or low vibe, low energy, it's it's important to acknowledge that it's there. Okay, so this is not me telling you you don't need to feel sad. You're not sad. You're not a victim. You're okay. No, it's okay if you feel sad, if you feel depressed. It's okay. And then if you need to give yourself time to deal with it, give yourself time to deal with it. Sometimes I would just lie down, curl, and
Yeah.
cry for like 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna be so aware. Like it's been 15 minutes. What do I need to do next? Right. So this type of practice, um yeah, it takes practice. So maybe maybe it doesn't work the first time. Maybe it still took you like a day before you get out of bed. That
Yeah.
was me years ago. Like it would take me days even to get back on track. So maybe that's you, right? It took you a day. And then the next time that you experience it, it took you half a day, right? So and then it's your the next time it took you 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, and just keep on improving. And then the next time you are now able to walk outside. And then the next time it happened, you are now able to, I don't know, maybe dance or work out or do something else, right? So this is our journey to self mastery. So I really want to talk about this very quickly because people
Please.
are easily easily discouraged when they don't see the result right away. Okay, so I'm
Okay.
doing this thing, I'm practicing for my mental health, but I'm still feeling sad, but I'm still feeling I don't know what to do and lost and everything. But compare yourself from now to like few weeks ago or months ago when you started, right? What are the progress, right? So self mastery, like you became a master by doing things repeatedly. Like you practice. Like you can't be a master if you're not an expert on it. Like, and you can't be an expert if you didn't put enough time to do it. It's the same with managing your emotions. You cannot master yourself and your emotions if you don't practice doing the thing and expect yourself to feel okay. Like, no. Just keep doing it, keep at it, keep at it, keep at it. And then measure the gain, not the gap. So the gain and the gap, I talk about it all the time. This is a concept by Ben Hardy. And when you look at when you are where you came from and then where you are right now, that is your gain. And then the gap is
Hmm.
where you are and where you want to go, that is the gap. Sometimes when you only look at the gap, I want to be there, I want to be like this, I want to be always happy, I want to be not feeling this, etc. You're not going to see the gain that in the past you couldn't even get out of bed, but now you can do a 5 minute walk, right? And then just celebrating all those small wins, it gives you that feeling of success pattern. It gives you self-confidence. It gives you um, the theory of hope that you can always find a way. There's always a path for you, right? So, and when you grasp this concept, it's actually applicable to anything in life. Yeah.
So it's amazing how the universe works. So let me explain something to you. All right. So for the past maybe 10 years, I had problems with my gums. Right. I've gone to the dentist every maybe 6, maybe 12 months to get a checkup, and they've always said, Paul, you need to do this with your gums. I don't want to put people off their breakfast or their lunch or their dinner, right? But they tend to bleed a lot, maybe 2 or 3 times a day after flossing and cleaning and doing a mouthwash, right? So I followed all the dentist advice more or less every day for the past 5 or 6 years, and honestly, I wasn't feeling the benefit. I went in January to the dentist here in SM Light. They're called Dentacare, right? They are superb. Now, the dentist I had reminds me very similar to you, Coach, right? Whereas she doesn't stand any BS, right? She doesn't stand any BS. She doesn't look for negatives. She tells you this is what you've got to do, and she tells it you in a very structured manner, right? So she asked me how I was brushing my teeth and how I was flossing, right? And she told me that I was doing it wrong. Now, I'm the wrong side of 40, right? And I've been brushing my teeth in a certain way since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, right? So to be found at the start of this year that I've been brushing my teeth wrong and that I've been flossing incorrectly was quite an eye-opener, right? And then I've got to go from where I was in January to where I want to be by probably the end of next year, right? I went back to the dentist yesterday. No word of a lie, right? I went back to the dentist yesterday. She looked at my mouth and she said, "You are my star pupil." Right, you are my star patient, because exactly what you said there. I followed her advice day in, day out, regardless, and my gums now are 1,000 times better than they were even at the start of the year. So it's just those baby steps, right? And now I've taken the approach. I'm not looking at the gap. I've looked at the gain from where I was in January to where I am right now, right? My gums don't bleed half as much as they used to. They now can do some work in my teeth that they weren't able to do before. I came out of the dentist buzzing. And who comes out of the dentist buzzing, right? It's just unheard of. It's unheard of. But to get that feedback from the dentist who I admire was wonderful. So yeah, I'm completely bought into that daily mastery. And it's just got to be small things every day, right? Small things, they just compound and they really can have a large impact on you and your life moving forward. Cool. Coach, as always, never a pleasure. Always a chore spending this time with you. Before we go, why don't you tell everybody about your latest programs, how they can get in touch with you, etc., etc.
Okay, so I have a new program coming out this June. It's all about nutrition, and it's not just me telling you what you need to eat or giving you a nutritional plan, but really educating people how to eat and what food does to the body. So also it's going to be more about mindful eating and intuitive eating, so we can find freedom in our food, so we're not guilty around food, we're not binging, we're not having all these negative emotions around food or think about food all the time, right? So it's going to be exciting. So I'm going to launch it third week of June. So if you guys want to know more about it, so you can send me a DM via Instagram. It's at Kai Abbas, and I'll be happy to talk to you about it. Yes, there. And also, you can watch my new series on Instagram. It's about eating guilt free. So it's 5 day series. We're actually on day 4. So you can watch all those videos. You can learn so much about food. Like, if you need to count your calories, what are macros, what are proteins, what does it do to our body, and all the good stuff. So yeah, that's it for me.
And what I really like about your food post is that you very cleverly, I don't know if this is consciously or subconsciously, you never say any food is off, you can't eat any food, right? You don't kind of limit yourself. What you do is explain to people the benefits of correct nutrition, right? So well done, Coach. You are an inspiration to thousands of people out there. I love the fact that we get to meet every month, and I know we've had some technical challenges and we've had some health issues, and from both our sides. So I hope moving forward we can continue this. But yeah, Coach, thank you so much. Look after yourself, right? We're all sending you all our thoughts and best wishes. So please, audience members out there, as Coach says, if you've got any questions, there's her Instagram. Get in touch. She's very, very active on Instagram. There's not a day goes by that there's not a post. In fact, some people would say she may be a little bit she may be a little bit obsessed with it. Maybe want to add flower, but hey, I'm not going to go down that route. But there we go. Coach, thank you so much. Please look after yourself. And everybody out there, please get in touch. Any questions, any concerns, drop us a line, and I can put you in touch with Coach Cai. All right, guys. Take care. Thank you so much for joining. All the best, everybody.
Bye.